Hi, I'm Naima Latif, and if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, child care services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money. The Female Solution Global Radio TV Show invites you to an invigorating, empowering, interactive conversation with our team of hosts Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Time. Start your week with Monday Morning Mindfulness with Zelda Speaks. Tuesdays, Gathering of the Griots with Asadah. Wednesdays, Repairing Family Relationships with Naima and co-host Kareem Hamid. Thursdays, Veggie Brunch Live with Angela. Fridays, Health and Well-Being with Beata. Saturdays, tune in 12 noon to 2 p.m. Central Time. First Saturday, Global Talks with Zana. Second Saturday, Walk in Your Divine Authority with Mama Joy. Third Saturday, Move Around with Deborah. Fourth Saturday, be a judge on the virtual Teens, Tweens, and Tots Talent Contest. And fifth Saturday, join us on location as we conversate at the Elevate Cafe, owner Jackie Brooks. Sundays, join us 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central Time for Soul Purpose Healing with Beata. Go to thefemalesolution.com to join us on our video or audio live streaming platforms. Listen at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution. Call in on the Blog Talk Radio Network 515-605-9325 or call in and comment on the On-Air Radio Network 727-731-5192. We want to hear from you.
What's up, my people? It is Asadah. Welcome to Gathering of the Griots. We are about to have a good day today with powerful sisters as usual. But first, let's see what my girl Naima Latif of the Female Solution has to say to set the tone.
Radio. Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution. Join me, Naima Latif, every morning, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, as we bring you stimulating discussions about the issues affecting our lives. If you're listening online at www.blogtalkradio.com/the-female-solution, press the blue button that says follow and get our daily topics every morning directly to your email and your smartphone. Hi, I'm Naima Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution Radio Show. We invite you to call in 515-605 9325 and participate in this daily think tank as we examine the challenges we face and develop solutions that restore peace and harmony. We are global transformers, changing the world from the way it is to the way it should be. We are one. Wherever we live on this earth, we are one human family. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to extend a greeting to all the members of our family, whenever and wherever you may be listening around the world. To our family in China, Ni Hao. In India, Namaste. In Japan, Konnichiwa. In Korea, Annyeonghaseyo. In Russia, Здравствуйте. In Germany, Guten Tag. In Poland, Dzień dobry. In France, Bonjour. In Spain, Hola. In Italy, Ciao. In Egypt, Ahlan wa sahlan. In Ghana, Akwaba. In Nigeria, Peleo. In South Africa, Sawubona. In Senegal, Nangadef. In Kenya, Jambo. In Israel, Shalom. In Pakistan, Afghanistan, Palestine, and Saudi Arabia, Assalamu alaikum. Greetings, and may peace be upon you all. Join us live on the on-air radio network called 727-731-5192. We want to talk to you.
That's what we're talking about. You heard all those countries? And look, Naima said it so effortlessly. Lovely. So yes, you're tuned into Gathering of the Griots, and we're just going to do some business first before we get into our guests today, because people are always asking me. So I'm going to just put it on up there. And the next book fair for the Soulful Chicago Book Fair is going to be on April 20th. All right, that's from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it's going to be at Betty Chapaz Academy on 78th and Ellis. That's 7823 and Ellis. I'm talking about, I don't just do no books and tables. So you're going to have book signing. You're going to have all kind of genres, 2 rooms, children in 1 room with activities and art parties and beautifulness. Anybody can go to that. And then, of course, there's going to be book buying. There's going to be entertainment. So get that on your calendar. April 20th. That is our next book fair, because people are like, when is it going to be? Or you can visit our website at soulfulchicagobookfair.com. And then, this was so good last night. Our Metaverse Mingle. Here's the deal, guys. We got to step it up as a people. We can do some organizing in environments that don't constrict us and restrict us, right? So the Metaverse Mingle, that means, yes, we're getting together as little avatars. We had a great event last night. Give it up to Michelle. Boop, boop, boop. Michelle Renee had a speaker come through, his brother Franco Martinez, and he really gave it to us and helped us learn about analytics and what to do on your website to increase traffic to what you do. So y'all need to be there every Monday night or Friday night, 7:30 Central. All right. And if you need your avatar made, good. We'll help you do it. Just download Virbela. You see it there on the screen, VIRBELA.com, and start the process. Download it on your laptop or your desktop only, guys. No Chromebooks and no phones and no iPads, but laptops and desktops. And let's get it on. Let's start this networking in an environment where you could be there in 1 minute instead of saying there's a lot of traffic. We got brothers there from Japan and all over the world coming to network, and that's how we got to do it. All right. And so let us get the party started. Today, I am, let me go like this. I am joined by sisters. I always keep meeting powerful people, and I love it because we're so like-minded. But we're going to meet some sisters today. They are a collective. They are called the Urban EDU Coaches. Okay. Oh, look. What does that mean, right? Well, we're going to bring them on. I want to just give you just a little bit about them. So just look at this here. Urban EDU coaches. That EDU, we think education and that's all it's about. No, empowering those who empower our youth. That's me. Developing effective tools for student success, and then utilizing effective professional development communities. I want to bring them on. Let's bring on Sister Michelle. Hey, Michelle Renee. You on mute, you beautiful soul. And I'm going to bring on Aquila Graves.
Good morning.
Hey, ladies, how are you?
Assalamu alaikum. Wonderful, all is well.
It's so good to see you. And, you know, I know you guys separately for different reasons. So when I see the combination, I'm like, oh, can we handle that much power? I don't know. And so today we're going to be dealing with you as a collective, but you are going to have moments to talk about who you are, you know, together. And there are two other sisters in this group too, y'all. So we're going to learn a little bit about them as well as we go forward in the show. So I want you to tell me what was this about? How did this come about? Anybody take the stage.
Well, it came about years ago when we all had children of elementary school age, and we educated our children together, along with the other parents. We operated the Israel Academy for about 18 years, maybe from 1981 to 1999, however many years that is. And so that's how we came about. That's how we met. That's how we came together. And so during the time where we were operating the Israel Academy, we developed strategies that helped our children, you know, go from one place to another in the educational process. That's how it came about. And afterwards, 99, when we closed our school down for financial reasons, you know, everything in our community is always about finances. We just kept in touch. We went back to school, got more titles behind our names, and in the process, we were in the system at various schools, alternative schools and public schools, and we grew, and we used the things that we learned during our time with our own small private school, small independent school. That's how we began.
So let me segue into that one too. We were also mothers. We were also in the community, you know, and we were dealing with the diet. We were dealing with birthing our babies at home. So we had a connection.
Yeah.
And we just all were educators too, because you can't be if you're a mother, you're an educator or whatever, you're an educator. And so we were just already locked into each other, culturally, our experiences, our acculturations, all of that. You know, we came out of the same kind of experiences.
You said diets. Did I hear that in there?
Yeah, our diet. Very big piece.
My daughter went there too. Wait a minute. Let me join the group.
Well, I'm not talking about diet, high school. I'm talking about your nutrition. But
I love that. Okay, there we go. DIET.
Okay, but I'm graduating from diet too. So
health and wellness.
Okay, yes, no doubt. Wellness.
We fed the children. We had state funding where we could feed the children breakfast, morning snack, lunch, afternoon snack, and dinner. So many of our students, especially the older ones, they stayed and had
not box lunches. They were not box lunches.
They were cooked fresh,
vegetarian
food.
You know, so the struggle has always been on the table. And for those of us who understand who we are in the process,
Mhm.
you know, and I say we're the light givers.
Mm,
We're the light, we're the
absolutely.
lighthouses.
Yeah, and so
Absolutely.
now what we are doing, not what we like to do, what we are doing is we are using the tools that we learned as young women and young mothers. We have perfected them. We have tried them and proven them. We have added on more educational, information to our strategies. And now we are teaching the young mothers and young women, young administrators, young parents, young teachers,
Yes.
how to rebuild this trust that has been lost
Yes.
um, between students and teachers.
You
Yes.
know, the one of the most important things to me about this very union is the fact that if you if look in Scientology, right? L. Ron Hubbard said, if you see a problem, look at what you didn't do and know why it's a problem.
Mhm.
And the essence of this is you see a situation, whether it be terrible food, whether it be, poor food, the kids coming to school hungry,
Yeah.
uh, the children, there's so much that happens before the child even gets to school, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Emotionally, like the
Mhm.
arguing, the yelling, I had a
Mhm.
student one time who always got in trouble. And my thing was, who's checking in with
Mhm.
him to see what happened? And what it was is that his grandmother was yelling, "Get up, get ready for school," all this other stuff. And so
Yeah.
there was a whole world prior to getting there. And what you all are an example of is how you take matters into your own hands, right?
Mm.
You don't sit and complain. They gotta do this in the school. They're not yelling.
Oh no.
If
Mm-mm.
you don't like it, fix it.
Fix it. The
Fix
other thing,
And
one of our partners, April, she is good at saying, when we tried that before, it didn't work.
it.
So, she's good at refreshing our memories of what did did not work. And then we can go back and figure out what you just said, figure out why it didn't work and perfect it so that we can add to it, take away from it. We can add some different strategies to it,
mhm.
and so that it can work for our children. It's
I
all
want to.
about empowering the people who empower our children.
That's right. Well, I want to hear what went wrong. What was going wrong? Because I think we have viewers that witness things, but sometimes you feel powerless. You don't know what to do. Because they're supposed to be educators. It's
Mhm.
the school. My friend just finished telling me yesterday that she has such a history with being in school. And for those of us that went to Catholic schools, her school had a corporal punishment. The students could get hit by the teachers,
Mhm.
and the waivers were signed by the parents to
Mhm.
say, yes, kick they butt if
Mhm.
you need to. And so she discussed like what that was about and how you went in that office, they had a paddle and you got hit with it, like, just a derivative of this slave reality. But
Yeah.
what are some of the things that you would say were going wrong that you all felt you had to fix?
Well, let me jump in on that one because her experience was clearly mine growing up as well. And I didn't come through a Catholic school; I came through public school. But
Mhm.
at that time, it was permissible. I can't tell you how many times I took a whack or two. So, that's a whole nother conversation.
Mhm.
But I'm saying to that the breakdown, nothing is never just one cause. It's
Mhm.
dimensional. Always it's going to be dimensional. There's a yin and a yang in everything. And so but the source has to come back to the primary unit. That's the family.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's the home. That's where it all starts, right there. So the breakdown began there. Yeah, we can thank Willie Lynch, we can thank institutionalized racism, we can thank all of that. But when you come inside of my home, I have dominion over my home and my space. And so what I do in it, should be of significance that will benefit when we step outside, into the world. So it begins at home. So the breakdown began, number one, children raising children. And not that we weren't having babies at 14. My mother was 14 when she had her first. But we were taught, we had skills. We were taught skills, and we understood who we were in our foundation, where it began, and that was in the home. So as we began to move outside of that, other things began to take precedence instead of keeping our home intact. And so, it starts at home.
And I must be honest, when we first began the school, say in 1981, in the early years, yeah, we believed in spanking the children when they misbehave, but we can say that we didn't have to do it too often.
Right.
But we grew out of that, and we learned differently by making sure that ourselves and the other teachers had under their belt educational strategies and could engage the students in learning, because we all know that when students are engaged in learning, then you will least likely have misbehaviors, very least likely. And if you do, it's just a misunderstanding. So we did start that way. We have to be honest about that, but we grew out of it.
But what we had on the table too was relationships. We knew our teachers. We all had favorite teachers who knew, did we not? Who knew us on a personal level. They lived in our community, probably right around the corner from you. And so we had there, just those kind of elements somehow or another became watered down.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm also I'm recalling where our students came, not all from the same community-based church or organization, but several. They came from maybe 4 or 5, several, and so they could see their teacher and other parents. They may have seen them in church on Sunday or on Saturday.
Yeah.
So it became a family.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad, Michelle, that you brought up this, let's be honest, blah, 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 about our beginnings, because it's very important. Black people, we have a tad of a psychosis when it comes to hitting our children, right? And we think it's normal. And my first book is called Beating Black Kids, and it addresses the corporal punishment that we have in our community. And the only reason I take it a little further to say I'm glad that you at least address it is because that's the stuff our children are coming to the classroom with. They're coming to the classroom with an experience with family that might not be optimal, and almost always, definitely, no matter the socioeconomic background, there is some hitting. And I can just think about yourself. Let's say if your husband hit you and then you got to go to work. What is your day like if you got a beat down before you went to work? And so you got to go through the day with that secret, with that pain, maybe with the bruises. And I only bring it up to say, I'm so glad you all are doing what you're doing, because there has to be some healing before they can take on what we're saying. And great example. So I do work with a school that is an Afrocentric school, but baby, I've seen some lovely people in there, young people who they pressing buttons, acting out, and you think, oh, this is supposed to be an environment of, namaste, baby, and whatever. But the reality is that we have to help debunk all of the programming and pain and stuff that, like you said, Aquila, that comes from the home, and not having that in the home. So the fact that how would you all say that you specifically added a healing component to this process with the kids?
Well, I learned how to meditate, and I began to teach my students how to meditate. We all know the benefits of meditation, right? So it benefits our children too. So they learn how to meditate. they meditate on, whatever good thought that they have, what, they meditate on that thought. The other thing that we've learned how to do is engage the students in learning. I said earlier, when students are engaged in learning, they are least likely to perform for you and everybody else, because it's all a performance.
That's right.
They're least likely to you're least likely to get that type of behavior. So in engaging students, you want to know, the teacher needs to know, what is this exercise that I'm about to embark on? And in deciding the exercise, they need to figure out, what is the end? What do I want students to do in the end of this lesson from this exercise? And in engaging them, they need to figure out what the details of the activity is, down to, during this activity, can students talk to each other? Is this an independent activity? Can they ask questions? And I do that for every single activity that I engage in. And Jamila, who's also one of our partners, her specialty is
project-based
instruction. So she designs projects for parents to do at home and for teachers to do in the classroom, that all focus on state goals. They are designed and around state goals, where students are engaging in a civics project, a language arts project, a math project, and they're learning the state goals in the same way they would have learned it if they were practicing math in a worksheet.
I see.
And I don't like worksheets either, by the way. Worksheets, not my friend.
Can I say that segues into also, with what Michelle has said, keeping that in mind, how do you bring that together? It's layer on top of layer on top of layer. And so when she speak about rigor and we speak about engagement, relationships, we have to establish a different relationship with our children, with our students. And so we speak about that. Our book, Trust, we talk about relationship, building communication, effective communication, and what that looked like. And then on top of that, what is the goodie in all of that is me, myself, the facilitator. Who am I when I walk into that classroom? Am I there as a whole person? Am I there fractured? And if I am, then let me first get this in play, so that when I enter into that classroom, I understand my role and how I play in the process. And that applies the same as at home, because remember, we're parents, we're still the educators and association. So that tells you a lot about what our book is about.
Yeah, and when we have the ability to look at ourselves, because our thing is, when you can't reach us, when a student is not participating and learning, it's because you have yet to have found what they need from you. You have yet to have found what they need in order to learn. You have yet to have found the strategy that works best for them, because we believe in differentiation. Every child has a different learning style. Every child learns in a different way. And that's where project-based learning comes in too, because, one child may be creating one project based on this topic and this lesson. Another child may be creating another outcome from this activity. So we believe that if a child is not learning, it's not his fault. You have not found a way to reach that child.
Yes. And the same, I believe, in parenting, the same thing applies. And I say, as administrators, as next door neighbors, as even myself, to the finest of degrees, the same, we can take these same strategies and apply them across the board. That's why our lens that we operate out of is the whole child theory. We have to look at this from holistic, if visual, because if not, then all we're doing is patchworking, and we're not actually dealing. We're dealing symptomatically and not with the cause. So we have right. So
go ahead, because we excited. I'm like, ooh, I want to say something.
You asked the question, what didn't work? One other thing that we found that we did not do in the past is we didn't do enough self-care. We didn't focus on self-care enough. We worked ourselves to the bone, to the bone, to the bare bone. But when educators make sure that they practice that self-care in whatever way your self-care looks like, it's going to be different for all of us. I can go to the King Spa for 24 hours and hey, I got it. I'm good. I go back to work refreshed and ready. Somebody else may need to do something else. But when we practice that self-care, which we missed in the past, then we're better able to nurture our students. We have more patience with them. We can support them in a better way.
And let us please remember too, we're dealing with another child now. This is not the child that we were. The acculturations are so over here. Yeah, now what we're having to ask permission to come into their world because they're the digitized.
That's right, baby.
Population now,
That's right.
And so we're asking permission because that's their world. So we're dealing with another kind of child. So we can't teach this child the way we were taught.
Sure.
We cannot. And I think and as parents as well, because now the world is in our home now. Whereas before it wasn't when we came up, the world that was creature features.
Exactly.
And we can also say that we can't even teach them the way that we taught our own children. We all have adult children. Right. Our children have children. We have adult children who are in their 40s. And so we can't even teach the child today the same way that we taught our own children in the Israel Academy.
And we shouldn't want to. And we shouldn't want to.
But
all you lucky adults. Hold on one second. I'm going to get, because I'll be on the parents and the teachers. I just want to say that that message of self-care is so important, because you want to check yourself before you wreck yourself, okay? Before you take yourself in the classroom. But this issue of our children being different children, adults, I need you to step it up and stop acting like that's a problem, that they know something you don't. It is that's like somebody coming to me saying, you don't know how to work a what they call that whatever them phone, the record player that used to look like a big gramophone, whatever it's called. That's like somebody trying to get me to do that, or somebody trying to say, you don't know what a rotary phone is? What's wrong with you? Stop, adults, right? You got to step it up to present time, and then step it up to future, because we used to watch the Jetsons, but it's a lot of Jetson stuff that's out right now, right? And gone, come and gone, right? So I'm just saying, I want us to, as adults, teachers, parents, to sit back a little bit and listen, because these children are very advanced. They have more information. Before, children only got information from the adults in their lives. That's why Charlie Brown teachers sound like that. Womp, 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 womp. That's how it sounded, right? But they're taking in data all day long. And by the time I show my daughter something on the phone, she go, girl, that's 3 months old, or whatever. Like I'm always late. She's already knows the data. So I want us to be comfortable with good. Give them some wisdom. But then you sit down for a minute too. If you don't know that language, you don't know that tech, sit down and learn the tech so that we can be more relevant to them. How they going to learn from people that don't know what they need to know, right? And so I think that is an important, not only important to do, but an important viewpoint for you guys to have doing it. Now, before we go on, we're going to take a little commercial break, and then we're going to come back, because you've given a little hint that we got a book, which is why they on Gathering of the Griot. So let that be known. But let's take a minute to do some messages, and then we'll come right back, you guys.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif, And if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, childcare services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
And Anase went back to the village with the golden box. He set the golden box and gathered the children as you are gathered now. He opened that box and stories just rushed out of the box.
This is why we are here, because of these people right here. Give it up for the young people today, baby. Give it up better than that, adults. Tell us, adults.
Hi, I'm Lauren Cress Love. I'm the sister of the late Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, author of the ISIS Papers and the Cress Theory on Color Confrontation. We're Chicago natives, and to honor her legacy, I'll have her books at the Soulful Chicago Book Fair, Saturday, July 16th, 2016. Be there.
Black Fairy is in this book. Young John Henry, everyone's familiar with the young John Henry, and Deadwood Dick, who's a black cowboy. So these are three plays that are in this book, which has been used by a lot of groups, universities that have produced plays for children.
Hey, Black Child by Usaini Perkins. Hey, Black Child, do you know who you are?
Hi, I'm Joyce Clark. I'm 92 years old, and I have written books for Black girls so that they know how important they are and they learn the mystery to their history. I'm going to be at the Soulful Chicago Book Fair, and I want to see you there.
Saturday, August 3rd, 2019. All right. We have callers, honey. We got callers. They're ready to talk to you. And I'm going so deep in. Sometimes I don't get my callers, but we're going to get them today. We have Neil MacArthur, 334-737. Go ahead on and unmute yourself if you're muted. Tell us where you're from, and I think you might be from Alabama. How you doing, brother?
Praise God, giving honor, assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
I'm doing with, yes, and thanking Mother God and Father God for another day. I'm doing well.
Good.
And I see that you're doing well also.
True that. Thank you, brother.
Yes. I'm calling from Alabama. I'm calling from actually historic Montgomery, Alabama, where the civil rights movement and the bus boycott was started. And this is where the headquarters of the Confederacy was. It was known as part of the Black Belt, where during Black History Month, we give honor to the 9 former slaves who started Alabama State University, and then Booker T. Washington, who was a former slave himself, whom part of my name comes from, Italia Ferro. Started Tuskegee University right here in the Black Belt. And most of all, going to the topic of the day, we have a project right there in Chicago, Ida B. Wells. She was a school teacher. She was, and she came from Mississippi, and she addressed these issues, the issues of teaching our children. And one of her first things she talked about when she talked about the black schools, where she said most of the black women teachers weren't qualified. The only thing they were qualified for was I don't even know how to say it. Basically, screwing to get their jobs.
Terrible.
And she put, she talked about it, and she was she definitely needs to be honored during this Black History Month. And talking about what you're all talking about is so on point. Holy Spirit God is really showing up and showing out. It's so on point because what the children go through at home, like the sister Aquila said, and what you all address is so important before they get to the school. And a lot of them are experiencing child abuse of all kinds, not just physical and corporal, which is so bad, like going back to how we were taught by the slave master. If you act up, beat them, and then all other types of sexual abuse and all types of evil that are going on at home. And we as a community and as educators have to deal with all that. And it's our responsibility, educators especially, our responsibility, like you said, to form that relationship with the children so that they can find out what the issues are and then try to address them. Because like the other sister said, when they aren't being taught, it's not their fault they aren't being taught. It's the educators' fault, the adults' fault, that they're not being taught what they need to learn. And it is so important that this topic that you're talking about this morning. I'm glad, I'm blessed to be able to listen in. And thank my sister Naima for being available to give me the number to 727 because the 515 number wasn't working this morning.
That's all right.
She was available on her original Chicago 312 number.
Yeah.
So you all have a continued blessed day.
Thank you. Thank you, brother. We love a brother on the line. And I appreciate your viewpoint, the fact that, we're in sync, and that, sometimes when you're doing this work, you think it can feel lonely at times, like, dag, is everybody messed up? But you're coming on and you're saying what you're saying shows that, it's a lot of us out there supporting and having a viewpoint. And so we just got to stay on the path. And I thank you for joining the path with us this morning. Peace. All right. Thank you, brother. All the way from Alabama. That's what we're talking about. All right. We got another caller. Mama Joy, 773-885. You're on live. What's up, Chi-Town?
Yeah, well, Chi-Town is in the house for sure.
Nice.
Alabama, thank you. Love the comments the brother made, and I was mute. So it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Going back to this part of the conversation that you all had earlier about the need for community to get together, and it dawned on me something I forgot. There was a woman in the community here. Her name was Miss Curtis, and she turned her garage into a tutoring place for children for after school. And I learned about it, and I did a little writing on it. And I asked her, I said, well, what about music? I can bring some music. She said, can you bring some music? So I brought some music. And then the children were getting academic, help with their homework. She last kids were coming over in her garage. And then someone said, well, you know what? I could do art. And here we have an after-school program, a place, she called it Curtis Incentive. It's an incentive for children to appreciate education, appreciate neighbors, having responsibility. And I completely forgot about that. It. So what you're talking about can be done because I've experienced that in my community. And she, she was there. The door was open in the alley during the summer, so the neighbors would come in, and the neighbors start bringing little sandwiches and little things for the kids to have snacks. That's the word, snacks. So I know it can be done.
That's right.
It can be done. So conversation like this is very valuable, and that's part of what it says. Love your neighbor. And I kind of added something onto that, Asadah, because I'm saying learn your neighbor as you learn to love yourself. Because that is ongoing. Every day we should be discovering something new about ourselves.
That's right.
Every day we should get up and be able to look in the mirror and say, hey, I like you. You're okay. Because at one time we were not okay with ourselves.
Right.
And the more that we're okay with ourselves, the more we can be okay with our neighbors, and the more we can love. So don't take the cart before the horse. Do self first. Then move towards other life. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Mama Joy. Thank you for that example.
And don't forget about Fannie Lou Hamer. Fannie Lou Hamer from Mississippi.
Yeah.
She started a farmers program feeding the hungry. But you know who was her strong support?
Who?
Was a group of white children in the high schools here in Chicago.
What they do?
That's something to think about. What did they do? They raised money with her to feed the poor in Chicago as well as Mississippi.
Okay.
Organized. And that's something many people don't know about. So Chicago has a Fannie Lou Hamer connection. By all means, yes, it does.
Nice.
I'm doing something on that now. So I just wanted to share that to let you know that there's a sacredness. There's a big sacredness in our existence, a divinity that nobody can understand. But we do, and we work in it. And I'm so happy, and you're part of that.
Thank you, my love. Thank you, Mama Joy. All right. Yeah, see, here's the thing, y'all. This taking the matters into our own hands is a thing. If we don't like the way the world is going and boop, 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 zip it up and get to work. And that's just massively important. We all know, like the people talk about the, and I do see you, Michelle. We know that the lunch program in the schools, what? You better bring me some Black Panthers. That's what you need to do now. Because when it came to feeding kids, like you said, we see their needs. Now we just got to go ahead and supply them with their needs and really shift our viewpoint of our children as something to behold, some people to, like, they need to feel the softness of care. There's a softness of care that our children do not experience. I think the worst people in the world in terms of how they're treated, the people who get the worst treatment in the world to me are Black children, because you not only have this exterior world, you got the family that will bring down wrath on you. And so if we're going to take this role of educating, when they come into our cipher, when they come into our square, they need to feel like this is the place I love being. You know, if home can't fully be that, we can create that. We all know we have favorite teachers and all of that, but like we can be those favorites that expose them to other parts of the world. I've seen you traveling, Michelle. I got a chance to take kids to Africa, the gangbangers, baby. Take them to Africa. Come on, I'm sure you gotta get your passport. And when I brought them back to Chicago, their grades shut up. Valedictorians, like they just had a different attention given to them. Not all the bad stuff, scowling at them, your pants sagging. Be quiet. Come on, let's get this passport. Let's get on this plane. Y'all should have seen them on the plane with do-rags on because they sleeping and the bonnets came out. I mean, it was Black, honey. All the pilots were Black. The stewardesses were Black. and it just created a different reality for them. And so thinking about experiences that will innovate and educate and get them excited, I think that is extremely important. And I know that's where we're getting ready to go with you guys and what you're doing, because you talked about a book called Trust that you have, right? And I know that volume 2 is coming up. Let's talk about that. This is the book here, guys, Trust, right? And tell us a little bit about Trust and what made you write that.
We wanted to share what we knew, what we experienced, and what we later learned. We understand that in many situations, most situations where children are misbehaving and not learning, is because there is something wrong in the classroom. The first edition was focused completely on the classroom. We're adding things for the parents now, but we called it Time to Rebuild Understanding Between Students and Teachers. That's where Trust, the acronym, came from, and it is a process. We start our book, and we also have a virtual course that aligns with the book, where teachers can purchase the course online, and they get a free copy of the book when they purchase that platinum package. And we'll talk about that later. Actually, if anybody wants to look at it now while you're listening, you can go to urbaneducoach.com. But the first part of the trust process is intrapersonal relationships. That's where teachers dig into themselves. You can't understand others. You can't understand our coworkers or even our students unless you know who you are. Interpersonal relationship helps the teacher to find out why they solve problems in the way that they solve problems, how they think, so they can guide the students in learning how they in turn think. So the first relationship that we deal with in our book and our online course, and we also do face-to-face professional development workshops too. But the first relationship that we have our participants delve into is the relationship they have with themselves.
Yeah.
So let me because I want to make sure I get this website. It's Urban Edu Coach or coaches.com.
Coach.com.
Got you. So I want you all to get that website so that you can experience. You said they can go there and see the platform, Urban Edu Coach. There we go. .com. Let me look. Let me not play now. Let me add that .com now.
They can go there to get information about the course as well as the book. Now, the first edition of Trust is available now. It's been available since 2019 or something like that. Okay. We are currently writing a second edition because things have been updated and things have changed. And we want to make sure that the information that we are disseminating is relevant. So that the second edition will be ready in 2 weeks.
Got you. Now let me ask a question because I want to be clear on this. So you all, it's not like you have a school that they walk into. You go into schools
and go into
institutions. Tell me a little bit about that. Some of your work.
We've gone into several alternative high schools. We've gone into daycare centers because did you know people are expelling and suspending 5-year-olds and 4-year-olds from daycare?
Yeah.
Like, oh my goodness. There's definitely a disconnect in that. How do you not be able to handle a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old? But I do understand how. It's because of what goes on in the home. Yes, it's also because of the music. It's because of what they see on social media, believe it or not, on television. So yeah, but we use the same process. The first module, delve into yourself, parent and teacher. The second module is the relationship that you develop with those students. The third module is a collection of projects that you can use, add to, take away from, redesign, however you want to, so that you are able to reach the students at the same time teaching them according to state standards. And then the fourth part of our trust process is making every minute count. How many hours do we have our children in our classroom? So the third part is making every minute count by doing meticulous planning for those students, but at the same time being flexible, because you can't be flexible in your day, in your program, your lesson, your project, unless you know where you want it to go. And I teach right now still, and I still use these same techniques and processes, and I plan well because that's the key.
Yeah.
And I know what I want to happen at the end. So while I'm in it, implementing what I plan, I might have to go off and do something else, add something else, take this away. So we have to plan, we have to organize, we have to make every minute count, but at the same time, be flexible. And you can do that if you start at the beginning and know who you are in your relationship. And
let me segue to that. That really the book. That's what makes this book such a valuable tool, whether in the classroom, in the home, or whatever. Because a lot of times, educators, we don't think in a collective like that, but we must, and we have to, because that's that whole theory again. And so here, this book is giving you concrete suggestions and strategies to help you to grow into that being, that can see and balance out these 4 aspects of who you need to be in this classroom, these 4 aspects of who we need to be in the home, and these 4 aspects of who we need to be within ourselves. And so this book gives you a framework for that. It gives you a visual.
Oh, that's important. I mean, like I said, you guys, and y'all see we got another queen coming to the table. Hey, another one of them coaches. We're coming to you in 1 minute. But this is the importance. Let me tell y'all, there's a culture where people work by themselves. And that's what we usually copy. As a people, that's not how we roll. We really are group oriented. You understand me? We do things in groups. What we doing? Is it rites of passage? You think it's one lady telling all the girls? No, it's a council. We be having councils of elders. So we've gone through so much in terms of it affecting our trust in each other, right? To where we don't trust each other, but we really have to discard that viewpoint and start to work together, because everybody brings something different to the table. Like, we need everybody's expertise, which brings me to, doctor, sister, Jamila, how are you today? Take your mic off mute and tell us your role in this party, your role in this group of urban EDU coaches. I heard a little bit about you, but I'd like to hear it from you. Let me see if I could unmute your mic. Or let's see if you could. Can you unmute your mic? Let's see. I might be able to do it on my side. Let me do it on my side. Do you see? I don't know if you're frozen or not, if the sister's frozen. She might be, but if she is, what I'm going to do is we're going to pull up a little bit. Thank God for my girl, Michelle. I want to bring up a little bit about the sister. She's going to come back. Sometimes you know how technology could be. You sitting there and you like, what? And I'm going to just show this so we can understand the sister here. So I'm going to read this. Dr. Jamila Kareem, right? She got a lot of letters on her name, y'all. BS, BA, EGM, Go ahead. You know how we do. That's the education. And then it says, she is the sister that does project-based learning. She has a unique teaching method that utilizes a student-centered pedagogy to foster deep knowledge and the development of all lifelong skills by engaging students to become active learners. Okay, so and I'm doing that with I'm doing that with my dollar store glasses. So I'm like, oh God, I hope I can see all that. Oh, I hope I can see it. But Sister Jamila, when she comes back, it's going to be good to hear the role that she has played in this. But until she comes back, can somebody talk about the effects of her project-based learning that the students have? Go ahead, Aquila.
Yeah. First off, we don't learn spastically.
What that mean? What that mean?
That means that we don't learn, in spurts. And one day you have gone through one operation, you're ready for another one the next day, and on and on. That's why we're losing our children. And so for us, we think in long terms. We connect the dots. We really do in how we deliver things. And so with project-based understanding, we know that to teach our children, we need longer periods of times for them to marinate in the strategy, to marinate in, the objectives or where we're trying to take them. It's a process. It's not an event. It's a process. So project-based learning is far more effective, perhaps for anybody, but certainly for our own in the learning process. Jamila, is she back on?
She is. Sister, can we hear you? Let me see.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Al,
Grand rising.
How you gonna have 4 queens on at one time? Wait a minute. We might short circuit the whole thing.
Quit playing.
So tell us a little bit about, you see I got your beautiful poster up, but tell us a little bit about your strategy. Like, how did you even come up with a project-based learning style? And what does that even mean? What does that mean? Describe that to us.
Grand rising, family. For me, what I looked at initially was how I learned as a student. And I remember that I wasn't that perfect student. I was kind of always to the left or to the right. And so I said, well, if I think like this, how are my students looking at what's being presented to them? And I know each student learns differently. So what we wanted to do, or what I wanted to do when I was an educator, was figure out what's the best approach to touch them, to reach them, to make them feel successful. Because, in the education field, if you're asking a student a question and they don't get what you say is the right answer, you say wrong. I said, nope, it's not wrong. I just asked the wrong question. So the thing was trying to find the ones for each student. Because if I'm a textile learner, then I need to touch things. So it becomes a part of who I am. If I'm an audio learner, I need to hear things so it will resonate with me, for me to get that concept. So looking at that, I said, well, we're teaching our children to be workers. I wanted them to be an entrepreneur. So if you're going to have a business, you have to learn how to work with people. We're not going to learn in a box. I wasn't trying to get them to learn so they can get in a little cove and put those walls around them and put up things in their little space that makes them feel comfortable. I wanted them to be comfortable working with others. And project-based allows that. You have to collaborate with someone else. it can't be a me thing. It's got to be a team thing. It teaches team building. It challenges the mind. If you don't, my background is science. So if you're doing an experiment and you don't get the results, you have to start again. So that's what I wanted the students to do. Don't feel like failures. If you don't get the right answer, you just do it again. You might need another approach. And that's what unfortunately, a lot of instructors are scared to do with their students, to allow them to reach outside of that square that we've placed them in. You can get to the same answer to a math problem. It doesn't have to just be 1 + 1 + 1 is 3. So then we can have success. And it's about the students being successful. They've got to understand that learning is a process. You can trip, but your tripping does not make you a failure.
Say it.
There's no way in the world a kid should be able to fail in preschool. How do you hold somebody back? Preschool.
Right.
How do you hold somebody back from why are we holding anybody back?
Right. That's a reflection of their skills or not.
Let them excel. We are afraid of our children developing their own wings. The wings you give them fit at that time. But as they grow, their wings have got to grow. Our wings have got to grow. And we do that through socialization. That's what education is supposed to do, more so than just the rote learning. We have to teach our students how to socialize, how to be a part of the whole.
Yes.
Because it takes all of us. We came from a village of women who all wanted the same thing, to educate our children in a safe, comfortable place of love. I used to greet my students at the door. And I went to hug one student and he reared back. What you getting ready to do? I'm ready to hug you. He said, I don't hug. Right. I said, yes, you do.
Yes.
You just haven't hugged lately. I said, trust me, I'm going to do this every day till when I go to for you, I get a smile. Because that's the ultimate. If we can give somebody else a sense of self and show love through what we're doing, we have to be a little disciplined, but it's all about love.
Nice.
We need to be that soft spot, that sweet spot, that safety net.
That's right. That's right.
Where they feel comfortable enough to come in and make learning part of their process. Because if not, they're going to throw that wall.
Your input is invalid.
And it doesn't make a difference what my kids used to say, well, why would I need chemistry? I'm never going to be a chemist. I said, because you're going to be the one in that house that got to make that Kool-Aid. One pack of Kool-Aid, this much sugar. Do it.
That's
eventually said, go in that cabinet, we find that fruit cocktail and we throw it in that Kool-Aid and we got enough Kool-Aid for everybody.
There we go. Math and science. It looks like the sister dropped out for a minute, but we're going to take a break and come right back. When we come back, I do want us to, because let me tell you, the importance of the show today is that all the time that we're dealing with some type of discord in the schools, we always talk about the students. But baby, if you're a good teacher, you're not going to have that. And so that's what we want to put out. That's right. That deserves a noodle neck. Ooh, ooh, ooh. So so when we come after the break, we're going to take a caller and then we're going to get a little bit more into Trust and its programs and what you as a teacher can do to get the proper training, get the proper training. So we'll be right back after these messages. Wait, I want to play another message.
The heart of the soulful Chicago Book Fair comes the Soulful Book Fair Foundation. The Soulful Book Fair Foundation provides programming, training, and literary opportunities for Black-themed writers and their readers, while increasing exposure and access to culturally relevant literature in Black communities. The Soulful Book Fair Foundation is built on 4 pillars. Enhance the Black literary marketplace, bolster training and marketing for Black writers, archive Black stories and literary experiences, and foster writing and telling of stories through Black youth. Our signature book fairs have showcased over 350 authors. Still, there are not enough opportunities for Black writers to promote their work. The Soulful Book Fair Foundation helps to enhance the Black literary marketplace and provide avenues for authors to gain exposure and sell their books. Everyone has a story to tell. For those people courageous enough to become authors, we help guide them through the process of building a business around their books. From effectively presenting at events, to maximizing social media,
learning what Snapchat is, learning what Instagram is, how to use it, how to market to it. So I think that is what made me, I didn't sell out. I think I brought about 80 books and I sold like 68. So I think that was really, really good.
we offer training and marketing to help Black authors so they can confidently develop fruitful literary careers. Understanding the past allows one to map out the future. We preserve the stories behind the storytelling of activists, writers, leaders, and youth in the Black community through state-of-the-art videography, produced by the media partner of the Soulful Book Fair Foundation, OM Productions International. We transform history into our story.
I purchased my first property at 19 years old, and I have done more than 20 deals since then. I can teach you too. Come visit me at the Soulful Chicago Book Fair.
Myth. Children today do not read and write as much as we did in the past. Children today actually read and write more than we used to, because they post and text as their primary form of communication. The Soulful Book Fair Foundation creates opportunities for young people to share their stories through special workshops.
In our African tradition, when you have special programs like this, you usually or always begin it with a libation before our Shave again our BC. He was recruiting enslaved Africans for 5 years in Charleston, South Carolina, to take over that city.
Hey, Black child, be what you can be. Learn what you must learn. Do what you can do. And tomorrow, your nation will be where you want it to be.
I'm speaking the truth, but you call me a radical. You don't want to hear it? Send yourself on a sabbatical. Look at your history. Our labor here was never contractual.
The T.R.U.S.T Black Essay Contest provides opportunities for young people from grades 4 through 12 to win prizes for sharing their family histories.
My great-grandmother was born July 27th of 1934 in Mississippi. She moved to Chicago in her early 20s because there was much more broad racism in the southern regions of the U.S.
The T.R.U.S.T Black Essay Contest validates their young thoughts and creates a platform for their ideas to be taken seriously. We believe that our children would read more if what they read reflected more of who they are. Why not help them be the authors of their own experience?
Well, I started writing things in my journal, and then I started taking writing classes, and I realized I can put the things that go on in my life into my book, so I can put it in my journal and I put them into my book.
On these 4 pillars, enhancing the Black literary marketplace, bolstering training and marketing for Black writers, archiving Black stories and literary experiences, and fostering writing and the telling of stories through Black youth, the Soulful Book Fair Foundation is building a literary movement for the ages that is amplifying the voices of Black authors, poets, and even composers, and creating opportunities for them to share their unique perspectives with millions of literary fans across the city and across the world.
Oh Lord. I used to couldn't watch that without crying. I got my tissues right here, though. I ain't playing with you, cause baby, man, talk about, you gotta take responsibility for what we need to see in our community. You gotta jizz it up. Don't be coming here with no boring speech talking about 7 years ago. Shut up. Somebody is doing that. So this taking, when I watch that and I look at even how it overlaps what you're talking about, give these young people a chance to say what they got to say. That young brother said, our labor here was never contractual.
Never contractual.
Coming out of the mouths of babes. So, this work to allow for them to have a say, play a part, seek a different way. Sister Jamila definitely hit it on the head on so many levels in terms of, no, that wasn't wrong how you said that. I need to ask it in a different way. Yes, take responsibility, even if they don't, just so they can feel powerful and see that this is a two-way street. This is a two-way communication between us. So, Quill, I see you got something to say. I'm gonna let you say that, and then we do have a caller.
Okay, in the learning process, remember the first law is to know thyself and then know your student. And in order for us to know our students, we have to go to them. The tide has switched where they come to us. We have to go where they are, and we have to get them there. And that is definitely in the metaverse. We have to be able to go there.
You better say that, because I take Black people into the metaverse.
Yes,
if y'all ain't been there yet, and I can care less about a shameless plug. I need to get my people there. Okay. We need to organize. We need to connect. But if you're in Florida and you're in Japan and you're in so and so, we can't really meet and say, let's meet on 61st Street. Everybody is not in that space. But the metaverse allows us to all be there and be there in 1 minute. Like, where you at? On the toilet? Good. Get your computer. Beep. You can be in the metaverse. We won't even know. We won't even see you. I be so glad I'm in the metaverse with my nightgown on and y'all can't see me. But we can connect, and you could be fine. Michelle got a fine outfit on last night. But it's just a great place to take our teaching to the next level.
Yes.
Michelle has actually brought her college classes in the metaverse to learn. And that to me is so revolutionary. If I had a teacher that created that reality, okay, y'all, put your books down. We going into the metaverse today? Oh God, I would love her, because
let me say this about her, about Michelle.
Yes.
When Web 2.0 hit the scene, this woman was already there waiting for it. So she has been on the ground floor since its inception, since it came to the table. She's been there.
I love it. That's how we got to do. Boo, boo, boo. We have a caller. Brian, 708-724. You're on air. Where you from? That sound like Illinois.
Yes, I'm from Enterprise, Illinois.
Okay, cool. So what question do you have for our lovely ladies today?
Okay, we need to, this is basically a statement, we need to help young people broaden their horizons.
Okay.
I mean, because these are the young men and women of tomorrow's world, and from what I see with kids going to school and selling books in school and beating up the teachers or whatever, that's not good.
Right.
I mean, that's not good.
Right.
You know, that's more of a societal thing, and also too, when it starts at home.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. 1,000%. Yeah. All right, great. And did you have any question for the ladies, or because you gave some very succinct and provocative statements about what the issues are, and so that's why these ladies exist. But I want to thank you. If you don't have any other questions, I want to thank you for calling in.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate your time.
All right, no doubt. All right, go ahead. Yeah.
I'd like to say that one of the things Jamila forgot to say is that project-based instruction, it allows teachers to help students address real-world problems. The projects that she creates are solving real-world problems, and then it allows the teacher to help the students create involve themselves in critical thinking that will help them solve those real world and relevant problems. And so that's why it's important for us to not be the same teacher all the time. I've had instructors myself as I was in school and getting a master's degree, where they did the same thing every semester all the time. And I can tell that they hadn't updated their syllabus and curriculum, because I've been online and I've been typing and I've been in this world of technology since I was in high school. That's why I'm on Web 2.0 and now Web 3.0 in the metaverse, is because I learned, that was my passion in high school, where I learned how to be a programmer there, which is why I'm not as afraid of technology as a lot of people I work with, and I can figure out how to solve them and not be stressed out about it. And that's what project-based learning does. It helps our young people find with their passion, where do they fit in the world. So when they're able to solve these real world and relevant problems, then they are able to find where they fit, and they also learn how to think critically and creatively at the same time, while the teacher is addressing Common Core standards or whatever standards each state is using. So they're aligned to the standards as well. And we had a caller earlier, Mama Joyce, I believe. She talked about how she was a part of a group in her neighborhood where they started an after school program in the garage, and that's actually how we got together. I was homeschooling my own son, my oldest son, and then in doing that, being involved in the community, these sisters and more sisters that are not doing this work with us still for a lot of other reasons, we found each other, and so we began to work. We began to teach our children as a collective. You mentioned that we as the Black people, we are connected to each other, and that's one of the things that we do in our class and in our book. We help teach. We go into schools, or you can buy into our virtual course and learn how to use professional learning communities where you're sharing information. It is a collection. It is, everybody knows a little bit. Nobody knows everything. So in a professional development community, you're able to share what you know and glean from what others know, so that we can reach our children. It's time out for so many of our kids to be falling through the cracks. What cracks? Seal up those cracks.
Seal up those cracks. I'm saying that today. Seal up those cracks. Fool.
Those cracks. Don't keep letting our children year after year, generation after generation fall through those cracks. And if they do, and we have to also teach them how to make mistakes. And that's another thing that our program does. It instead of focusing on your mistake and beating yourself up about it, both teachers and students in their projects. Okay, so you made a mistake, just like Jamila said a few minutes ago. You gave an answer that wasn't an answer to the question I asked, which means I asked the wrong question.
And let's make that not mistakes, but teachable moments.
Teachable moments, absolutely. Let's learn because you can't grow. Nobody can grow in any part of life if you don't have the emotional intelligence enough to say, okay, this didn't work out. I should have done this and say I made the wrong choice. Let me try another choice and then learn from the choices that you made that didn't work out. But we can't keep blaming everybody. Teachers can't blame students and keep on writing these big red F's on their paper. We gotta stop doing that.
Sure. Let me because you all have a video, and I'm gonna see if I can end up playing it on this format. But one of the things that's so key, it's a lot of things that's key about y'all, but your intention is coming through the waves. You as educators having an intention to create a good experience for young people. That's coming through the airwaves, because that to me is the side of the story that needs handling. A lot of people want to handle the behavior of students and kids today don't listen and all this nonsense that we talking about. But if you're a good teacher, I didn't have no problem with no teacher. But then I'm talking about, let's go on a field trip to New York and I'm in Chicago, or let's go on a field trip to Africa, and so we're going to do the classroom without walls approach. So this piece, and we're going to get to your packages in a minute, because teachers, it's your job to do a good job. That's it. Yeah. What you learned in your training, it ain't in a textbook. It's in your heart. Black people deal with feeling. Hello. We don't deal with just some cut, what is that? Just some rote communication. We got to know what we feel from you. Yeah. You hear a lot of people, I don't care if they on the streets or whatever.
Do you feel me?
Do you feel me?
You feel me?
Baby, that's what they say. Do you feel me? Right. So that's where we are. And so teachers, can they feel you? Yeah. Do they feel your intention? And what you all are saying is just that. And it's so important. Yeah. So to me, I put on Facebook, what y'all think the problem is with the students or the teachers? Something real basic. And most of the people, if they on my page, they got a similar mindset. So they were talking about, teachers need help or whatever. But I'm going to tell you something. I'm a part of a group, and it's a lot of teachers in this group. And, some conversation prior to the meeting starting. But baby, the way they talk about those kids, the way they talk about them, they were like, well, this is what they do now, and this is what they can't do, and they can't.
We don't like our children. Our children are not like to love today.
That's what I'm saying.
They don't like them.
Let me tell you something. With all of that, they can't do this, they can't do that, they can't do this, they can't do that. I said, because it's like a Zoom with a bunch of people, I said, what can they do? Mm-hmm. Y'all got an answer for that? What can they do? Because y'all keep talking about what they can't do. But to me, if they can't do it, that's a reflection on you as a teacher. That's a reflection on you. Yeah. You can't create the oasis of the classroom. And so I want you to just talk a tad about the packages for T.R.U.S.T and what they are, because they come at different levels. And I'm going to put those back up so that people can see them. And yeah, just talk about them a little something. Go ahead, whoever wants to start. I think you're on mute. Who's talking? Michelle, you talking? You're on mute, guy.
Aquila, you talk about intra and interpersonal relationships, those two packages.
Yeah. Again, charity begins at home. And so your springboard in any situation endeavor begins with you. So you want to make sure that you can self-reflect, enter inspection, and that with meditation, with whatever you need to debrief, unpack before you come into that classroom. So we talk about strategies for how to self-care and how to self-insulate yourself by knowing what's going on inside of you. And so then once you enter into that classroom, with the communication and relationships is the glue, it's the music that brings it all together. You know, you have all these components, but there has to be a vein, a line that connects them all, and relationship building does that. And so, my portion is to talk about communication, to talk about building relationships, because without the relationship, you can have the most grandiose soul, but children want to please you. That's their whole thing, is to please you. And so, when they can't please you, they go in the opposite direction. So, what does pleasing you look like? What does pleasing them look like? It begins in knowing who this child is so that they can know who you are. Relationship builders and effective communication.
Excellent. Let me say this. And for those of you watching that are educators, the prices for the packages, this is what professional development is about. And so when you have a school that has a professional development day for its teachers, that's what these packages are about. It's about them being able to choose something that suits what you're doing, and then get it going. Like, let's talk about like what's the difference between like the platinum package and what we showed before? Hold on. We had the platinum, the gold, the silver, and the bronze. What would be like what they're getting in the ultimate package?
Yeah, so in the ultimate package, that's the top package. They're getting everything. They're getting a free copy of the book. They're getting all the units. They're getting the unit 1, which is about self-awareness, and emotional intelligence. And they're focused on themselves. And they're getting the second unit, which is about intrapersonal relationships. It's an extension of self-awareness and emotional intelligence. And they're getting the third module or unit, which is interpersonal relationships, how to relate to the students and the parents, because they cannot educate that child without that parent.
Sure.
And then the fourth unit is project-based learning. We have a wealth of project examples that you can glean from. You can use as they are. You can revise them in any way you want or you need to suit the needs of your students. And then the fifth module is making every minute count, planning for how you would engage those students in a classroom, whether you're using project-based learning or not. And then the last part of the module is reactions. You're reacting to what you have learned, what you have experienced in units 1 through 5. So our top module is platinum, I believe. You get all of that.
Got you. And this is so important because I know of schools and educational institutions, and they're tired of the same people coming with the same information. And meetings don't have to be boring. If you bring these queens up in there, you already know, it's about to have some energy. Because you're about to, as a teacher, be able to, when do we have time to reflect on ourselves? It is minimal to no time. And so when you have this embedded in the training of a teacher, because your school bought the package, these are such low rates for that. I can't even tell you. So thank you for being affordable to the schools. But come on, this is what you give. You can tell them, hey, I know I saw a show today, and I saw some educators who actually train educators, and that is huge. It's extremely huge because we do need training. And as a people, if you want to teach in the Black community, you need a different type of training, because you got to handle some things that are coming to the self-hate that you have to address when they come in that room is outlandish. But they got self-hate, they mama got self-hate, everybody got self-hate in our community. And you can tell by the rate that we're killing each other, because I'll kill you because I don't care about myself. Like, you know, and you can see it in our presentation. We're not wearing our own hair. We're gonna make it blonde or do whatever. There ain't no shade on y'all, but I'm just saying we don't rarely come out like that. But there's different levels of self-hate that we have to address, and that gets overturned by self-love. So you gotta have some semblance of self-love in the curriculum. I'm reading it right there. Awareness and emotional intelligence. Who's doing that? But that's the work that needs to be done so that you can see that the boy that keeps acting up is only acting up because he woke up with somebody yelling at him. And somebody without saying, and that example, when I became a mom, I remember waking my daughter up with softness. I remember kissing her on her forehead and saying, "It's time to get up, Ma," or just a nice soft voice, so that I didn't bring her into some explosion of a reality. And so since they are waking up like that, and maybe they got to feed their siblings, and maybe they got to do all that stuff. Yes, Sister Jamila said it, when you got to bring them into an environment of softness, that solace, that care. Like she said, she met him at the door and she went to give that hug. They pulled back, baby. What you doing? That's just something that's so real in our community. That sister that was in the video, that was Frances Cress Welsing's sister. She even said to me, hug in my family? Never. She said, we ain't never hug. We ain't tell each other we love each other. My own mama said that. She said, I know my mama loved me, but she never said it, you know. And so we're gonna have to pick up the pace. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time trying to make the parent do blah, but I will help them. Those activities you have, that if you have activities that involve the parents, so necessary. And we just got to create the tone that they need to learn from. If you want to call in, guys, before we leave, because we're almost at that time, I'm going to put the number up here so you can go ahead and call in. It is 727. I know that much. Hold on. Let me get it. Lord have mercy. 727-731-5192 is right there on the screen. Or if you want to, if you don't want to call in, you can actually put your comment. If you're watching us on YouTube, you could type a comment right there and I could put it up for you. And I believe you can even type a comment on Facebook if you're watching us on Facebook, and we'll see the comment and we'll post it so that we can go ahead and further discuss it. And so you guys, Trust, the second edition. When we come back from this small break, I want you to tell me where we can get that book, when we can get that book, and we're going to talk about a little bit more about your thoughts for the future for the book and the curriculum and courses. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back after this message.
You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies, till all my fears are gone. I'm no longer a slave to fear. Oh, I am a child of God. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of In my mother's womb, you have chosen me. Love has called my name.
All right, y'all. That is my girl and Michelle Renee's book, Enemy Within, deals with that abuse. And I gotta show y'all something. So while we're talking, I'm gonna go get it because I need to show something very special. What do you all? I want to hear a little bit about your vision for the future of trust and of the educational program. What is the ideal scene you have for this program? How large? You know, it's great. It's good to hear that you have worked in an alternative high school system, because that's exactly who I took to Africa, were the kids in the alternative high schools. I came out of Northwestern teaching at CCA Academy on the west side, and then I taught at Benjamin Mays Academy. At that time, it was in Kennedy King College, and we worked very closely with Olive Harvey Middle College, which was another alternative school. And I just love that population. I love them so much because you had a situation where so many people were telling them, you ain't nothing, this your last chance, you better get it right, blah blah blah. But when my little new jack, my students, some of them were my age at the time, I was coming right out of college, and man, when it was my time to speak, I said, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me. I said, but even more important is that if you are still here in school, then you're the strongest of all the students that there are to come, because you're still here. Yo, them kids gave me a standing ovation because it was a validation. Validate them. They trying to still get it right. I don't care if my girl got 6 kids over there, and I don't care if he on house arrest. And no, it's about, you are so important in the community because you're pushing through those obstacles and you're still working to get that diploma or finish school. So of course you're the strongest. So I ain't never had no problems, because they just respect the fact that somebody respected them, and they didn't have to hear the drudgery of how bad they were and how their life, this is their last chance. Oh, be quiet. You know, those teachers tell on themselves. And so for me, your curriculum exemplifies that viewpoint. And so tell me a little bit about what you see for the future of the EDU, urban EDU coaches, and the impact you'll have, because you're primarily in Chicago now, but I want to hear, is it going to branch out? All of that good stuff. So whoever wants to start.
Well, I'm sorry, y'all. I just take over.
I believe we're trying to make it available.
Hold on. Go ahead. You speaking, Sister Jamila?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. Do your thing, Mama. Go ahead. I'm giving you a stage. Go ahead.
We're going to make it available so anyone, anywhere can utilize this program. We've got to stop thinking one-dimensional. We are children of the world. And all the students want the same thing. They want to become part of a productive society. They want to have their fingerprints on this. And with the kind of work that we're doing, what avails through our program and our books and our interactions with other educators, this is a worldwide thing. We're raising global citizens. We can't be limited to just a classroom, a building. You spoke about teaching outside the walls. You know, we were a part of that program many, many moons ago. You know, we've got to just reach out and touch the students wherever they are. If they're on house arrest and they can't make it to a physical building, what do you have in place for them?
Right.
We've got something.
So let me say,
they're reachable
and have
teachable.
Sorry.
And we can do this. Program, the problem we had when we had COVID, that we can teach our students via.
Exactly. You're freezing a little bit, Sister Jamila. That's why we're yeah, go ahead, Aquila.
Yeah, I want to say that thanks to Michelle by way of Asadah, we're headed towards I'd like to think, the metaverse. Because if we really, I mean, it's like you say, it to me will just expand and open up a whole nother realm to take us off this level of understanding and take us into the atmosphere where we need to be. So that we can look down and see this whole shebang bang and how to move through it. So I see metaverse in our future.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. And
let me just define it, because some of you might be going, metaverse, what you talking about? Not that you talk like that, but a metaverse is a simulation of the actual world. And so when we say teaching in the metaverse, and I want y'all to go look it up. You can look it up in a dictionary. When I say teaching in the metaverse, it means that there's a classroom in the computer. It's not Zoom, though. You a body. You got on a Kango hat, or you got locks, or you got bald head, afro, whatever you want. You could be whatever complexion you want. I'll be looking at some people like, that ain't your complexion, but I'm gonna let you have that while you still here. Ask one brother, why you look like Billy D. Williams today? He said, cause in the metaverse, I could do things I can't do in real life. Well, all right, go ahead and do it. And the next day he had locks. So the metaverse is just an environment that eliminates restrictions, but we can talk to each other, and we can do it all, like I said, eliminating the time. Brother Taquan Amaru was in there with us last night. He in Japan, they 14 hours ahead of us. So while it's 7:30 our time, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning over there. And so I'm just saying, it, like you said, the metaverse is going to be an environment that infuses abilities.
Yes. And
kinds of abilities.
I want to say this, and then I'm going to let Amir close out, Michelle. But also, too, that not only that, but it keeps us in real time. And our children are always in real time. They're always in the moment. And so that's what I like about it. Zoom, which was the cutting edge of, the Jackson era. But here we are now. We're evolving into another normalcy.
Actuality, normalcy, yeah.
Yeah. And so we hope we're on the not the tail end or the beginning of it and what it can be for our children. Mind-boggling.
We have a caller, so I want to take that caller, but before we take him, I just want to kind of show y'all this. Don't play now. Urban EDU coaches, they are members of the Soulful Chicago Book Fair. Yeah, baby. I'm on that, baby. And so we gonna take care of you. That's what we do when you are a member of the Soulful Chicago Book Fair. It includes commercials for your book. It includes opportunities, events in the metaverse. All of that is included in that. And if you want to read about it, you can go to membership at soulfulchicagobookfair.com. I'll put that down there just so y'all could, see it and then write it down. But we're going to take a caller real quick. And caller, let's see. Minister Plum, go ahead on. I think you're on the air. Let me hear what you got to say.
Well, shalom. We don't die. We multiply. Black power forever, and assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, brother. Come on with it.
I want to be a member of Soulful Book Fair. Okay, all right, we win. Because information, Asadah, yes, this is your brother and friend, Minister Robert Floyd Trump in Chicago. And I want to not only be a member, but establish a collaboration through education, because education is a key to our success. And information is the best. And I know beyond the shadow of a doubt, you got information and you got the educators. It is all in knowledge. And knowledge is power. And I want you to make sure that you can call me or go to Robert Plump Facebook page at 312-882 882-5935, and you can get my membership today. And I want to do a collaboration with the person that got this book, and I want to add Plump Music Productions. Music helps to soothe the soul, as they say in the Sabbath beast, and it would be complete with Plump Music Productions.
Okay. Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Hallelujah.
All right. I'm so glad you have so much to bring to the table, brother. I'll make sure I get that number from Naima. I know you're a regular here with the Female Solution and always in the community. You was at my book fair and all that good stuff. So I do want to thank you for calling today, though, and being a part of the movement.
All right. So in our plan is that in our future, at minimum, we want to sell you a book. If you're anxious and you are ready to get into our process, our trust process right now, the first edition is available on Amazon. And if you can wait until we finish our updates and get that available for you, give us 2 weeks. The second edition will be available. I think you want to wait for the second edition.
Yeah, wait for the second edition, but that is going to be at
great stuff.
That's going to be at EDO, Urban EDU Coach, right?
Yes, it will.
Got you. I'll put that
also
up.
on our website, urbaneducoach.com, you can purchase our course. You can experience our trust process online via our course that is available right now. You can invite us into your school. If you are local in the Chicagoland area, you will get at least 2 of us. Sometimes you might get 3 of us. Sometimes you might get all 4. But at minimum, you will get at least 2 of us to come into your school so that we can walk you through our trust experience. And believe you me, whichever 2 of us you get, we all know what the other 2 are doing.
So, y'all bringing out the noodle neck, baby. Y'all bringing out the look. We going like this. That's how you know. That's how you know.
Yes. And if you are not in our local Chicagoland area, we do like to travel. We'll come to your city, state, or your country.
Yeah, and that's a real thing. I mean, I have been flown out to Old Dominion University to speak a numerous amount of times because what y'all got to understand is that people have money allotted to train educators, to train people. ISU right here, they literally bring me in to train their new emerging teachers that are going to be teaching in the Black community, and they not Black. So that means they need a little prep.
They most certainly do.
Yeah, they need a little prep on how to bring the best of themselves to that classroom, not the assumptions that they have about those children. And we deal with all of that good stuff. But I want to read some of the comments. One sister, my girl, Higher Learning Network. Well, she says she's the stressologist. That's my girl, Zelda Robinson says. Grand Rising, beautiful queen, teach. So everybody on here been teaching. And then the executive producer of the Female Solution says teaching is a function of parenting. Teachers who are parents that beat and belittle their own children will not be compassionate teachers. And so, yes, indeed, you know, the type of, before I became a mom, I was a teacher. So I got a lot of training before I became a mom, and I got to be good and see how to treat her good. And my goal with them was to make them happy. And so I learned how to make my daughter happy. And as a result, you get these good results. I love the story, and then I'm gonna let you all sort of go into more of the future because we got Sister Jamila saying what she saw being. But I want to get you other ladies before we leave. But I was at the bus stop over on State, I think, and a car pulls up, a white Escalade pull up, and he rolled down the window. So I'm standing at the bus stop like, sup, like, I'm from New York, what? Like, what you want? And so the dude said, Miss K, is Malcolm, you took me to Africa. I was like, oh, you know. And so here you got this new, beautiful citizen, great, beautiful car, just, you know, loving life, has his own children, but we have a chance to create good citizens that will then contribute to the planet with their innate skills that if you're a good teacher, you'll help to bring about. You'll help them see it and see some validation in it. Last story, I was teaching, all the kids had to write some genre of a skit. So you had horror, this and the other. And I noticed one boy wasn't participating. I said to myself, I think his literacy is an issue, like the writing of it. And so I had him come. I said, come here, you're going to help me with the camera. And that meant taping the kids with the video camera. Yo, what's that boy's profession? Videographer. Just that moment of time to give him a strength, because he didn't have strength in other things, makes all the difference. And so continue. I'm gonna put another comment up here real quick. My girl Deborah, she was in the metaverse last night for show. Grand Rising, we appreciate this lesson. We are always learning. Everyone gravitated to Zoom. Let's elevate to the metaverse. Woo, 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 woo. See, y'all playing games. This not the little whippersnappers talking about, yeah, the metaverse. No, we seasoned and we bring in education and connection to the metaverse. And so you're dealing with educators right now that have this viewpoint. And so if you're a teacher and you are tired of the kids acting this way and that way, skill up, yo. Skill up, get your skills up. And that's what this training is about. So others of you, because we got about 6-7 minutes left, just give me, what do you see for the future of the Urban EDU coaches in your classes and your new book that'll be out, your second edition of Trust? What do you see for the future?
Well, I see teachers' ability to understand and work with this new digital learner. Very different from the way we learn, and very different from even the way that we taught our children. It's growing. It's not gonna go anywhere. So as teachers, as adults, as parents who are responsible for caring for, directing, and nurturing and teaching these children, we need to step up. So I see we're gonna the four of us will always step up. Our goal is to always remain relevant. So as we have done in the past, we're going to always be studying. We're going to always be learning, because we're lifelong learners. And in order to reach our generations, to reach our children, to reach those people that work with our children, we have to remain that. So we're going to always be that. So, and we're going to always grow. We're going to grow with the educational world. And so we have an office in the metaverse. So we can have a small group of teachers and parents, or a mixture of both, or one or the other. And we can work with you, help you to experience our trust process in a small group. And we also have a conference room in the metaverse. That's what we see in the future. But if you're not there yet, we can come to you.
Absolutely. I think that's so strong, guys. Did you hear her? She said we have an office in the metaverse. That shows you the quality of who you dealing with up in here. You're not dealing with, meet me on Cottage Grove. I got a little office in the little, no. I'll meet you in the metaverse. So that doesn't matter where you are. If you're a teacher in Florida, a teacher in Alabama, a teacher, a parent, and you want to connect with these women, you can do it. There are no barriers, because we're in the metaverse, and we can help you understand what that means. You can you all have a comment page, and then I'll let you speak, Aquila. Do you have a comment page on that EDU? Like, can they give you their information so you could reach back to them, or what's the best way for people to reach you? That website or a phone number, or what?
You can do both. On the website, there is an email address and a phone number under contact. You can contact us that way. And there's also a place to sign up and leave us your information.
Got you. On the EDU.
On the urbaneducoach.com.
Okay, guys, that's streaming at the bottom. And so go ahead, Aquila, future.
Yes, sir. I want to first pay homage to my sister, Aquarian, Asadah, for bringing the platform to the hood. Thank you for that, because it should shoot us well into putting us in the front of this learning processes with our children. We just got to get in there and have some sense of direction for them, because they don't have that just yet. It's come with time and age. And so metaverse is the caboose. So I'm excited about this year and what's coming, because nothing is by accident, and ain't nothing in the vacuum. And so Allah has sanctioned this. That's why we're here. Because the doorway has been made open for us, and we're coming.
Man, I mean, y'all gonna have to add the metaverse to the platinum package.
Hey.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's okay. Hey.
So y'all can add it to whatever package you want. We ain't gonna let it go to the metaverse in the first package. Whatever. So it's all good, because the reality is, I don't think you're gonna find professional development people and teaching enhancement people that are in the metaverse doing this work. I'm just saying. So that already puts you in such a different place for the future. And I look forward to being a part of that future, because I was a teacher. I understand going into the classrooms. And I even tell people I'm not so much working with the kids. I do, but I'm a parenting strategist, baby. I'm not trying to tell you how to parent. I am trying to tell you how to parent.
Yes,
1,000%, because we can do better. And I want us to become what we used to be, a more caring environment. People try to say they beat people in Africa. Be quiet. That's post-colonialism. But when you look at those statues, any ancient African statues show you, if it's Egyptian, the youngest is standing next to the king. He's standing next to him, just right next to him, while the king's standing there with the queen. Then you'll have mothers with babies on their laps, and they are drinking from the breast. There are just all these images that show you the relationship between a parent and a child. I don't see any ancient drawings of them beating the kids. I do not see that. Okay. And even if you want to take it to Jesus, ain't nobody talking about spare the rod, spoil a child, because what you talking about, the shepherd's rod? Because he didn't beat the sheep with that. He just guided them.
Guided and directed. Absolutely.
So stop it with the slavery analogies and get to the realness of who we are. And you all are the realness of who a teacher should be. And that is, teachers, be humble. And don't think you learned everything, and don't think you know everything because you went to some prestigious school. They didn't have in that training what you need in the classroom, because you got to be able to appeal to the human spirit before they even listen to you. And especially today, and my daughter told me, Mommy, Facebook for old people. Whatever, they got jobs. Y'all don't. I like Facebook, be quiet. But I'm just saying, they have a viewpoint of what it means to deal with us, but we can shift that by giving them teaching and opportunities that are going to last them a lifetime. So in these last 2 minutes, anybody got anything they want to say to our audience before we leave?
I'd like to end with, let us help you engage your students in learning. And if you are a parent, we've got a parent course coming up real soon. It's in process. Let us help you create strategies so that you can have a high achieving home.
A high achieving home. Wait, let me write that down. You got a t-shirt? Hold up. A high achieving home. I love it.
Now, those are not our words. We got that from Jawanza Kunjufu.
Oh, we'll give him some props. What's up, brother Jawanza?
You got to give the credit where the credit is due.
We love doing that.
We are helping our parents have high achieving homes.
I love that. I love that. Go ahead. Anybody else before we close?
Don't be afraid to step outside the box. Don't be afraid to challenge the status quo as educators. It's a new day. It's our day. And it's time for us to reclaim and to let go of things that in the past we didn't even touch in terms of how we educated our children. We educated out of our own acculturations. And somehow or another, things took a flip. So let us not be afraid, to be creative beings and go for our children. Let's go get them.
Let's go get them, baby. Let's close it out. Dr. Sister Jamila, close it out. Give them words.
Give your children, your students, yourself, as much love as you can handle. Let it overflow. You got this. Remember, you're enough in all instances. And if you don't feel like you're enough, lean in and lean on your family. your sisters, the
ED,
parents. Lean on that child. They can hold you up. You think they can't, but they got you.
They do.
Give it up. Love them. That's all.
Nice. I love it, y'all. Thank you so much. This has been powerful. Thank you for being here. Urban EDU coaches, you are the bomb. We'll be connecting. You mine now, baby. Y'all members, you mine now. You part of the Soulful Chicago family. It's a wrap. So I will see you all again next Tuesday here at 7 a.m. for Gathering of the Griots. See you in the metaverse this Friday. Come network, connect, and let's keep this party going like it's going. Love you guys. Have a good one today. Peace. Enjoy.
Namaste.
Peace. Namaste. Wa alaikum salam. Peace.
Now we've got history professor at Boston College and the author of the best-selling book, Democracy Awakening, and the massively successful Letters from an American Newsletter, Heather Cox Richardson.
Ọlọ́dún ló máa mọdún rẹ̀ lọ́dún. First Eye to the Gbé to today, Yoruba 2024 Cultural Exchange Festival. Welcome to the 15th anniversary of the First Eye concert in the heart of Chicago. 2024 brings a celebration that speaks to the soul. We are diving deep into the roots of Yoruba heritage, exploring its global impact and vibrant spirit. From September 1st to September 6th, Chicago becomes a melting pot of culture and connection. Tí ọkùnrin, obìnrin, ọmọdé, àgbàlagbà á jọ wá papọ̀ láti ṣe àgbélárugẹ àṣà wa. I mean, whether you are a seasoned traveler or a curious explorer, there is something for you. Join us for immersive tours, thought-provoking discussions, and unforgettable performances. Àti pé nani, nani. Feel the pulse of the city as we gather at the Malcolm X College Auditorium. A day filled with reading, style, and inspiration. On September 7th, we come together for a grand finale cultural award gala night, celebrating the incredible women who shape our world. Àgbájọ ọwọ́ báyìí la fi ń sọ̀yà, kémi gbé, kíwọ gbé.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, zhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jareh. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.